All right, how are you guys doing? For you guys who are in the chat, help me out, making sure I'm streaming okay. Can you hear me? See my screen? Put in the chat. See a couple people here from Huntsville, Wisconsin, Toronto. There you go. Looks good, sound good. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, I just wanted to host a quick webinar, impromptu webinar, and just get you guys to take a look at the software, see what we've been working on. A lot of folks have been seeing a lot and hearing a lot about 3P Mercury, and you guys aren't not quite sure what it is. So this is just a perfect opportunity to take a look at what the software is and what it's doing, where it's going in terms of like new features and stuff, which we'll hit up at the end. So yeah, that's basically that's the the agenda here today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just pop them in the chat, and we'll we'll get to them as soon as we can. So to start off, anyways, if you guys don't know me, my name is Kang Deng. I've been selling on 3P Mercury, 3P Mercury, selling on Amazon for over 5 years now. Uh, and doing about $3 million in annual sales. And when I first started, I did a lot of retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, jumped over to wholesale, and then went back to doing a mixed approach in terms of wholesale and online arbitrage. And I would say the reason that I'm able to do that mainly is because of this software. Is it just keeps everything organized in a really systematic fashion. It helps you overall, in the future, really scale and build a team that can run this business for you. I mean, for me, it's almost like an automatic business. I don't really touch this business a whole lot. But there's so many new things that we've done with the software from what I built it as. So originally, I built it as a workflow software. Um, that handles every piece of the business. Now that's still important, but we've added so many little bells and whistles that I think it just has made reselling so much easier, and I'm hoping to show you that today. But to begin, it is a workflow software initially. So let's take a look at that. So when I mean workflow software, when you're selling online, no matter what your process is, we basically follow the same process, right? So one is to look and evaluate a lead. So typically you guys are out there, with your Chrome extensions, of choice. So that's where we started, right? So we started with a Chrome extension. So if I were to click on any Amazon page or Walmart page, it will load up our Chrome extension, right? So on the, that's one piece that you wouldn't have to go out and buy, is a Chrome extension. So to do your profit calculations. Now, with our from the Chrome extension, you can do quite a lot of things, right? So you can, I'm not gonna go over what everything a Chrome extension does, but in general, if you were to put in a cost here, and then it will calculate out all of your profits. You can do all of the like custom fees and all kinds of fancy stuff here. Calculate out all of your ROIs. You can see a lot of statistics in the Chrome extension. So from here, you can also look at seller analysis, where it will look at your competitor stock count. Here, you can trim it down by FBA, FBM. So it helps you analyze a lead quite a bit. And What's also unique about this calculator, which I'm going to let you know where it's going as well, but here what it does for me is it gives me a very quick analysis, a very quick, we call it the quick decision feature, right? Is a lot of times within a within your profit calculator, you typically have in your mind somewhere, or maybe you wrote it down if you're new, your criteria for what is or is not a good seller, right? So typically it's usually it's profit. You analyze profit. Then if you know how to do it, you normally want to analyze the risk factor of it, meaning over the last 90 days, would I at least break even if I were to sell at that the 90-day average price. Then you have velocity, right? Because they when you learn how to sell on Amazon, they teach you that, hey, you want to sell on fast moving products, so velocity could be measured by drops, could be measured by the average monthly sales figure. And then there's a bunch of other ones you might want to check. Is it hazmat, meltables? Does it have a transparency enrollment? Is Amazon selling it? Now this here, from what you see, is already quite advanced, but we're actually going to implement our AI engine into the Chrome extension. So in the near future, you guys will get even more advanced analytics. It'll try to even see if there's an IP complaint, if Amazon's selling it, how much of the buy box are they sharing, is there even what's the trend analysis, right? Is it price tanking right now? It'll do so much for you, right? That AI engine will do a lot. So look forward to that enhancement moving over to this Chrome extension as well. But even so, right now it's doing a lot. It's doing all of those checks for you and then just giving you a dot, right? So it's telling you green, yellow, or red, right? And it's just going there and it's just telling you, okay, out of these, all of your criteria was met, right? My minimum ROI was 30%, and here my ROI is 210%. The break-even price in the last 90 days is $12. It's $25.35, and break-even is at $12.11. So I'm good there. The drops per month, it meets it. The average monthly sales, it meets it. Amazon's not selling, so it checks all my boxes, right? So instead of you having to manually think about it every time, right? And imagine like how easy it is to even train a virtual assistant to source for you, right? I mean, everything remains consistent. They can just look at the dot and make sure all of the rules have been checked, right? So, that's one key piece of the Chrome extension that I think you guys will really like. And from here, once you find a lead that you like, you can go ahead and save it. Now, typically with a normal Chrome extension, that's on the market right now, it forces you to kick it out to a Google Sheet, right? Now, while I don't have huge problems with Google Sheets, I use Google Sheets all the time for certain things. Google Sheets, once you write that data onto that sheet, then it becomes static data. It no longer updates, right? So as you know, with the Amazon landscape, things are very dynamic. Things change all the time. Seller count goes up and down. Buy boxes go up and down. Who knows, there might be a new IP complaint flag, whatever, right? So, once you're on a Google Sheet, though, you have to have a mechanism to get those data updated, or else it just becomes almost like, I would say almost useless data, right? It just becomes a just stale data that, it's good for record keeping, but it doesn't tell you anything if you go to, let's say, replenish it, or or you want to buy it, like maybe you held off and you wanted to buy it in the future, you would have to go manually check every single one of those ASINs that you save into your spreadsheet, right? But with 3P Mercury, what you do is instead of kicking it to a spreadsheet, then you just hit this save button, And then it just has a bunch of fields that you can fill out if you like or not. But like source URL, unit name, what store are you buying it from. So as you source, instead of trying to save all these to a Google Sheet, you just put it into our system. And then what happens is it goes into our lead vault. Okay, so let me filter a couple of things out so that it makes more sense, because some of these are are things that I teach the class on how to do some shortcuts, which I'll show you in a little bit as well. So ignore what I'm doing right now. But so what happens is it saves all of these to your lead vault. Okay, so this is once you save it from a Chrome extension into the lead vault, it goes here, right? So this is the part of the workflow that I'm sure many of you guys are using. A Google spreadsheet to save your leads, right? So once it goes here, then what happens is, it automatically updates this data for you, right? So the way that works is this market data, it gets updated. So it tells you, okay, 180 days ago, right? 180 days ago, there were, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better. 180 days ago, there were 4 offers on this listing. And then 90 days, it dropped to 3. 30 days, it dropped to 1. And currently, there are 2 sellers, right? And look at what happened to the buy box, right? 180 days ago, it was $75.85. And then as the sellers begin to drop off, look at what happened to the buy box. $81. $89, right? And now it went to 2 sellers, it dropped down $1 or so. But it still increased about nearly $14 in profit, right? Now, imagine if you had a Google spreadsheet, how would you find that out, right? Like, how would you know that the offer count is now, like, the competition is dwindling, right? So how would you know that, right? Without manually checking every time, or maybe you have some fancy way to upload all of your leads, maybe to Keepa, and then bring it back out of Keepa, and then do like a gazillion Excel formulas or something like that to then massage the data. I mean, just saying that is a mouthful, right? Imagine having to do that every single day, right? You're not going to do it. So here, what it does is it automatically tracks for me so that I can now see, okay, hey, I was making $19 in profit at 25% margin, which is good, but now I can make 34% in margin, 74% in ROI, and now I'm making $30 instead of $19, right? So it becomes a lot more attractive for me to now pay attention to this lead and potentially buy and source and sell on this lead, right? So if we look at the Amazon page for this, right? Normally you would have to go to click on every single one of your leads manually, go down and see, oh, okay, how's it going, right? Just to find out that same data, right? It went from 6 seller all the way down to 1 and then now 2. And look at what happened to the buy box, right? It was $69, went up to $79, and now it's way up, right? This guy even sold it for like $102, right? And $99 as well. So there's still a lot of room to play with, right? Like $99, $88, right? So this is here a severely underserved ASIN, right? And the reason its loss is 50 per month sold is the only reason it did that is because people have probably ran out of stock, right? So this here is a really, really underserved ASIN that you guys can take advantage of, right? But I mean, that's great that we found one lead. What about like over time? Think about how many leads that you would have found, right? That you're not tracking with 3P Mercury or some like mechanism. How much opportunity have you lost by not being able to know this, right? And I didn't even need to spend the time to go to the Amazon page to find out this result. I could have just looked at this and instantly know I have a winner on my hands, right? Because I have no sellers left, right? So Uh, so that's why it's really important to do this, right? So now in here I have 7,000 leads, right? This is just a play account that I loaded up some of my my actual leads with, but you know, the more that you have, the more you're going to be able to find really good listings like this. Now, let me demonstrate real quick how you guys can do this in bulk, right? Uh, so let's see, for instance, I have 7,000 leads. You see that, right? 7,000 leads here. Look at this. If I go to filter, and then I just go down and I just say, give me all of my leads where the offer count now is less than the last 30 days. Okay, I'm just gonna do a very simple filter, right? If I just hit apply, out of the 7,100 leads, it returned 1,300 leads that falls in this scenario, right? Now, some of the drops may not be extreme as the other one, right? So you just have to kind of go through it. You can filter some more and say, okay, give me the ones that only meet a target ROI, right? And it'll trim it down a little more, right? But nevertheless, what happens is generally, right? And generally what happens is the profit will begin to increase as the sellers decrease, right? Now, sometimes it's up to you to recover that buy box, right? But what happens is, like, for instance, let's take a look at this Columbia shoe here, right? $95. And let's look at the Keep a chart real quick, right? Look at this. There's no sellers left. If you were able to get this shoe, you would be the only person selling it. You can basically name your price at that point, right? So let me do another filter that makes it even better, right? So if I do this, offers now is less than 30. I can even do where the average monthly sales, right? The average monthly sales is greater than or equal to 50, right? So I only want decently fast moving ASINs, right? So if I hit apply on that, that trimmed it down another couple hundred, right? And so here I'm just basically looking at fast moving ASINs that have decreasing seller count, right? So let's take a look at this. This here. Here's a good example, right? This beauty encounter, right? There was 12 sellers. It went up a little bit, and now there's only 5 left, and the buy box has gained $5, right? So if you look at this one. This product here on the Keep a chart, come on, look at this. You guys seeing what I'm seeing? Like, isn't that crazy? Like, look at this. It's just plummeting, right? Like, there's no sellers left, right? And the buy box was like here, right? And as it starts to plummet, what happens to the buy box, right? When your competition goes down, what happens to the buy box? It goes up. Right? It went from $42 to $45 to $49. You got people up here selling for $63, right? And there's still now people selling for $55. Why? Because there's only one seller left, right? And this, look at this average monthly sold, 500 units with one seller, right? Can you see the opportunity here? That, I mean, how easy it is to find underserved ASINs, right? And so I mean, my goodness, right? Like, you can make massive profits by just doing this filter that I'm showing you right now, right? And I have 800 of them to look at, right? Like, not all of them will be like 100% winners, right? But it's so easy to find. Like here, this one might be a good recovery, right? It used to have 10, and now it's two sellers left, right? And it sometimes might be up to you to go recover the buy box, right? But just looking at the fact that there are no more competition left, look at this. It's already recovered. It went from $26.90 buy box to now selling for $34, right? It went up $8. Why? Because there's nobody selling, right? And if you guys are able to to run through your leads. And this is just a play account. Imagine, like, this is only 7,000 ASINs that I have loaded in here. Imagine my actual account with like 150,000 leads. How easy it is for me to find opportunities like this and buy it every day, right? So, and you guys might be thinking, well, wow, well, how am I going to get 150,000 leads, right? Well, I mean, we have sellers now, like the way we teach you guys how to use 3P Mercury effectively, that are loading in lead, like, several thousand leads a week, right? Like, it's really not that hard, right? There's even some free training with Jim. He's had some free training out there where you use a combination of Nepeto and 3P Mercury, and people are loading in just tens of thousands of leads into 3P Mercury and finding opportunities like this every day, right? So it's just an amazing tool to boost your profit margins, to take advantage of sales, of opportunities, that you wouldn't have found otherwise, right? So that is the lead vault. But okay, so let's say for instance I decide to buy these products, right? What do I do? So let's say for instance I select these products, and then I can go ahead and simply add it to my cart. Now once it's in my cart, right, I can determine how much to buy, right? And then I can go ahead and create a purchase order directly from this page, and I just hit create PO. I can add to an existing purchase order, or what I'm gonna do is I'm now going to create it to a buy list. So this is something that we implemented in the last couple of weeks, because folks were saying that they wanted to organize their purchases a little bit ahead before they actually make the purchase orders, right? Because they want to know how much they're going to spend, how many units they're buying. So they kind of want to compile all of that first before buying it, right? So the buy list is the perfect stage for that, right? So here I'm just going to call it webinar so I know what I did, but you can select your purchase date, right? When you want to buy this thing. So maybe I don't want to buy it until Monday. User agent, if I have multiple people working for me, I can select who I want to do the purchasing for me, or maybe analyze the, assign it to them. I can put in notes, like make sure all these products are available, something like that, right? Or you can even put some kind of note like a coupon code or whatever, right? And I'm going to go ahead and create it. And then once it's gone from the lead vault, right, where it takes you next is on the buy list section. So if I go to buy list, now take a look at this, right? So it tells me out of all of my lists that I put together, I have 75 units to buy. This is my total cost. This is my average ROI. And this is my total profit that I expect to make from all of these purchases, right? So here, once I am, I've added it to my buy list, right? Now it's organized for me to go buy these products, or maybe assign it to a team, right? To go making sure, like maybe double check the products, making sure they're available, or whatever I want them to do, right? I can put it all in the notes here, right? And let's say for instance, I'm ready to buy these products, right? So I can just select all or select one of them. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add it to my cart, right? And then it will now add these as their respective, they will organize them into their respective purchase orders, right? So depending on the supplier, right, what it's going to do is it's going to say, okay, well, this one comes from the boat supplier, this one comes from Keurig, this one comes from Perfumes Club, Webstaurant store. So it breaks it up into the correct purchase order, right? Because you can't make a purchase order for, say, Perfumes Club and Webstaurant, right? That doesn't make any sense, right? So it knows that these come from different suppliers, and what it's going to do is now it's going to, once I do that, all I have to do is hit create purchase orders, right? And now it creates 4 new purchase orders for me, right? And now I can just go to view the order. I can go to Perfumes Club, make this purchase of this product here. And then from there, I can do all kinds of stuff with this purchase order, right? So already it's organizing all of these into purchase orders for me. All right, I can say, okay, I pay tax on this, right? They charge me 8.25% in tax. It automatically calculates my tax. Let's say I paid $5 in shipping for this thing, and I got a 10% discount, right? For instance. And I also got cash back, right? So let's say I got cash back, and this was from Rebates Me, and I got 10% cash back, right? So I can record that here. And then what I do is once I've made my online purchase, I can go ahead and attach my receipt, right? So I can attach my receipt there, and then I just complete the order, right? Once I complete the order, what it does is it takes my cost of goods. It's going to add in my tax for me. It's going to add in my shipping cost for me and break it down by units, right? Since I bought 4 units and this thing cost me $5 in shipping costs, it breaks it up, it divides it by 4, and it allocates that to the ASIN accordingly. It took 10% off, right? My discount that I put in there, and then it calculates out my final purchase price, right? My buy cost. And then after that, I just complete the order, and then it's done, right? Now, why is it so important to do this kind of record keeping, right? It's because, you know, first of all, like, you're gonna have to store this information somewhere. A lot of people just end up putting in a Google Sheet, right? But not only is it inefficient, right? You have to copy and paste your ASIN and your supplier, how many you bought, all kinds of stuff to a spreadsheet, which is kind of inefficient, right? Because there's a lot of copying and pasting going on, right? But what happens if, like, you happen to get an IP complaint, right? So if I happen to get an IP complaint, typically without a system like this, you would have to go, let me see when I bought this thing. How many times did I buy it? Which email did I store my receipt in? All that stuff, right? It's kind of a chore, right? But here, look how easy it is. I just go here. Amazon says, hey, here's the ASIN that's being questioned. I pop it in a 3P Mercury, and there you go. Here's my receipt, right? I can just take this and then export attachments, and then it gives me a zip file. There's my Perfumes Club receipt, ready to submit to Amazon, right? It's so quick and easy. And imagine you bought this thing like 50 times, right? All those 50 receipts, you would have to go dig out of your file somewhere, right? Versus 3P Mercury, you just pop in the ASIN and it gives you all 50 receipts in a second, right? So much faster, right? You know, for you retail arbitrage folks, we didn't leave you guys out. There's a bunch of things that we did for the retail arbitrage folks. So for instance here, let's say Keurig here has a store somewhere that I can pop by and buy this. I can make this into a shopping list, right? And then what this would do is it would send it over to your mobile shopping list, which I don't have time to show you here. But what it'll do is it'll send it over to the mobile shopping list, and then you can just take your phone and then go to each respective store and then just buy it. And once you buy it in the store, you can use that same phone app to take a picture of your receipt, and it'll automatically attach it to the purchase order that generated the shopping list, right? So it just makes everything so seamless. Mobile wise, you can also use the profit calculator on your phone if you're in the store. You can create purchase orders. You can do so many things that on the phone, just like you were in front of the computer, right? And that can be a session for another day. I actually did a retail arbitrage session for 3P Mercury, and it's on our YouTube channel. So you just go to YouTube and type in 3P Mercury. You will find a lot of past webinars that we did. And if you're interested in retail arbitrage, you can see one of the ones that I did there. But it takes, okay, so down the line, right, it goes to the next step, the receiving side, right? So once you buy your products, you're going to have to receive these products, right? So, you know, let's say, for instance, I got some stuff in the mail, and then what am I gonna do, right? I have to, okay, I'm holding up a box of coffee. Which ASIN does this belong to, right? So I can just type in cafe, for instance, and then it just returns for me so quickly, right? What if I had like shoes, right? Shoes are like the worst, right? Aren't shoes like awful to find? Because you'll get something like this, Nike men's gymnastics, right? But let's just call it Nike 9.5. So you're holding up a shoe and you're like, all right, this is Nike and it's size 9.5, right? So I can just say Nike plus 9.5 and it'll return every Nike that I ordered that is size 9.5, right? So that it helps me track these products so much quicker, right? I can even click on these and then see, compare the product that's in my hand if it's the right product, right? Many of you guys have to go to Amazon, load up the page, wait for it to load, all your million extensions, slow everything's down, right? And then you'll have to look at, just to pull up the image, right? So that makes it so much faster, right? So let's say, for instance, I'm ready to receive these products, right? And I go here and I say, okay, I received these two products and I'm going to go, add this to my cart, right? I add it to my cart. And let's see, let's see if I can find some product that I may have in stock. Let me see. So I'm gonna add this. Let's say I want to do that and print. Okay, so here I can even print my labels on in 3P Mercury, right? So I can even do, like, let's say for instance 10 barcodes. I can just hit print. It'll print all of my barcodes out for me with the expiration date on the barcode, so no extra label that you have to do to just sticker your products, right? And there you go. I can just print my barcodes from here as long as, you know, you've created the added the product to Seller Central ahead of time, which surprise, 3P Mercury can also do for you, right? But let's say, for instance, I check these products in, right? What's going to happen is now you can now take the file that it generated here. Let me show you, right? It generated this file that it for your check-in process. And if you guys use like Scan Power, Inventory Lab, this even works with Seller Central. You can just take this file and dump it into your batch, right, that you create, either Inventory Lab, Scan Power, or Seller Central, and it will just take all of this information and then import it into your batch, so you don't have to type anything, right? Can you imagine how quickly it is to create a shipment by using this process? If I don't have to go there and sit there and, okay, copy and paste this ASIN, how much do I want to list it for? How many am I sending in? You know, how many, how much does it cost per unit, right? Like all of that can be done with just a few clicks, you see? So it speeds that process up as well, right? Now, once you're done receiving, we have restock, right? The restock page, it tells me, okay, it tells me so many more things like to restock, but I can just simply go in here and just say filter, right? And just say, use some of these default filters, right? I need to restock and tell me give me the highest ROI first, right? And I just hit apply and boom, it's there, right? It's like, hey, you need to restock this stuff. Like I made 82% ROI on this, 35% margins, and I have 0 left, right? So it's telling me restock these products. These are sorted by the highest ROI and go buy these, right? I have 7 pages of restock here, right? This is how much money I've made. In the last 30 days, I made $95 here. These need to be restocked ASAP, right? So easy to do restock. And then, that kind of like completes the workflow, right? If you think about it, right? You have Chrome extension, right? To lead management, to purchase order management, to receiving, and then restock, right? And then the rest is just like financials. So like for here, you can just go here, like go to my reports. There's so many reports, right? I can do category reports, like see which categories I sell the best. We have a profit and loss statement that you guys can use. So like I can take a look at my total income, all the Amazon fees that were taken out, my sales revenue. I can do custom expenses, right? Like here I can manage custom expenses. So like if I have a virtual assistant, I pay, you can put in their salary, the amount, how often you pay them, monthly, weekly, daily, whatever, right? Which day it occurs. And all of that, once you put in your custom expenses, it will then combine it with your profit and loss statement to give you, accurate profit and loss, numbers, right? So all of those go under the operating expenses, right? So if you have like boxes you're buying, tape you're buying, you can enter all of these in, and there you go. You have a profit and loss statement right from the system that holds all this data for you, right? So imagine like having to buy a bunch of different software to do all of this that 3P Mercury does, right? And the worst part is you would have to maintain all of those different pieces of software. You would have to tell your financial software how much you paid for things and how many you bought, and your profit calculator, right? You have to save it to a Google sheet and then take that Google sheet and then do some other things with it, right? And then maybe you have a restocking software that you have somewhere else, right? You have to import that data into the restocking software. So it's just an insane amount of maintenance to piecemeal all these together when 3P Mercury does it all, right? And there's so many more things that I could show you that what 3P Mercury does. Like we can go through like the lead vault. I can show you a bunch of sourcing strategies and all kinds of stuff, right? On our YouTube channel, I showed people this really cool technique, right? So for instance, you see a lot right here where I have as manual source. Where this came from is so a lot of people who are starting up right now selling Amazon, one of the hardest things that you have to deal with, and it's crazy how big of a deal people make this, but the first couple months is pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, because you're a new seller. Amazon doesn't know you, from a honest, good seller to a crook that ships people boxes of sand, right? They don't know who you are, right? So of course they're going to gate you in a bunch of different things, right? Especially hot selling items, right? Like things that are very like commercially, like, high in demand. They're gonna block you from selling those, right? Because it's easy to scam people, right? So what they want you to do is they want you to prove yourself. All they want you to do is just, okay, go sell a bunch of stuff, make sure that the customers are happy, and their customers are happy, and not filing a bunch of fraudulent claims and inauthentic claims, selling counterfeit, things like that, right? After about a couple of months, things just start opening up. Like you can start selling a bunch of different brands. It's a lot easier to get ungated. You submit an invoice, they take it, versus just rejecting it all the time, right? But what a lot of sellers don't realize is there's a lot of brands that Amazon actually lets you sell right from the start, right? It's just that, just imagine like somebody gives you a giant bucket of marbles and say, go find the red ones, right? And the red ones are like far and few in between. You got to dig through a bunch of marbles just to find a red one, right? Well, that's the same with these ASINs, right? You have a bunch of ASINs you can actually sell. It's just that they are, covered up by all these ASINs you can't sell. So what people normally do is they just click on random products, right? They click on random products and they look at their profit calculator and say, oh, I'm gated. Oh, no, I'm gated, right? And after about 20 or 30, they just give up, right? There's a much more efficient way to do that, right? So with 3P Mercury, again, one of these tools that we've implemented is the bulk gate check, right? And if you guys missed it, this is I showed you the whole process, right, of how to do this in my last webinar, which is available on our YouTube channel, by the way. So you can watch our last webinar on manual sourcing and with 3P Mercury. I showed you the exact process of doing this, but I'm just going to give you a glimpse real quick. So if I hit import and I look for, so I'm going to load up a file of ASINs, right? This is just, all it has is ASINs. It has no, like, it's not a legitimate list, like it's not a leads list, it's not anything, right? It's just, I just grabbed a bunch of ASINs from Amazon to Keepa, right? And then I saved off the ASINs. Now I'm going to load it into 3P Mercury, right? And what I can do here is I can do gate check, right? So imagine if this list had like 1,000 ASINs, right? I can just upload this. Oops, let me do that again. Gate check. I think it's gate check. Load up the right template here. But what it's going to do is it's going to go through that entire file and tell me what I can and cannot sell, right? So, you know, what that does is imagine you had a list of 1,000 leads, right? And, you know, like I said, with the whole like marble, example, analogy, well, you have to go through every single one manually just to find out whether or not you can sell it. And then, you know, it takes forever to you know, find that, right? And here with 3P Mercury, what it does, it just do it for you. It says, okay, out of this entire list, these are the ones that you can sell, right? It automatically checks the one that you can sell, right? So what I can do now is instead of wasting time clicking and randomly on all of these ASINs that I may or may not be able to sell, right? I just load into my lead vault and I can just apply a tag that tells me that it's not a kind of like a hardened lead yet. Like I haven't fully sourced it yet. It's just these are the ones that I'm allowed to sell. And I just hit apply and then I hit import. I'm not going to import it again, but now I have a whole list of ones that I know that I'm ungated to sell, and I can go ahead and manually source it and try to find those products. It's so much faster, right? It's so much faster than randomly clicking products, and especially if you're new, you probably can't sell like 90% of the things, right? So imagine if I cut out 90% of your work by doing this exercise. You see how much faster and rewarding it is for you to be able to do this, right? And source so much quicker. There's so many techniques, there's so many little tools that I wish I had time to show you, but you know, we don't have all that time in the world here. You know, everybody is, you know, has something to do, so we can only show you so much. And I do want to spend a few minutes showing you what we have upcoming, okay? So having our lead vault and our restocking software with all of these filters that you can do, we try to make this as easy as possible, right? You know, we put in pre-built filters for you. You know, like with these, I have like pre-built filters for you to run. You know, a lot of our users make their own filters, right? So once you get used to all of these filterings, you can make your own and save it, and then you can just pop it in and run it anytime you want. But we want to take it to the next level, right? Like, this is great. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, this is more than any other software that allows you to do lead tracking, right? But we're taking it to the next level. And what I want to show you is our AI engine. Now, we call this Merc. It just stands for Machine Enhanced Reselling Companion. So we call it Merc. And what this does for you, okay, is it will help you run your business in such an efficient way. Like, and it's almost like a plug and play process, right? So imagine, and we've been saying this for a long time, right? We're trying to make reselling into a two-step process, right? One, load your leads into 3P Mercury, and two, just go to 3P Mercury and see what it tells you to buy, right? That's essentially it, right? Now, currently, or the previous method is, it's just go to 3P Mercury and run a couple of quick filters for you to run, right? And it's easy peasy, right? And then easily you'll see what is there available to buy. But what we're doing is we're making it even easier and more advanced, right? Because what it's going to do now with Merc, our AI engine, is it will go through all of your leads, all of your restock, right? And tell you exactly what you need to restock, what you need to buy based off of, current opportunities. All of those things that I had to do manually or make custom filters for, all of those now have been taught by, we've been training this engine for the last, 2.5 months or so, or maybe 3 months. And we've trained it to the point where it's like if you were to employ me to manage your leads, right? So all the knowledge that I have in my brain has been put into this machine, where it's checking for things like IP complaint risk. It's checking for things like is Amazon selling it or not? If Amazon's selling it, how much of the buy box are they sharing? Is the product tanking? Is their seller counts going up, buy box going down? Or is it the reverse, right? Are your competition's plummeting and the buy box is rapidly increasing? It's checking for things like velocity. It's checking for things like capital risk, right? It's doing so many things. It's checked for like dominant sellers, right? Like if there's a exclusive wholesaler that's selling on your product, and they're gonna hold the buy box most of the time, right? It just checks like a million things on your behalf. And imagine every day just coming to this dashboard, right? And be like, all right, you told me this is a good buy. All right, let's click on it. Let me take a look here. All right, it's 700 sold per month. Let's see what's going on here. Seller counts looks like it's going down. Buy box is going up. And $23. I can make a quick $4 profit, 62% in ROI. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see what's going on. Okay, Disney. Let's see. I can make. Look at this, right? Look, seller counts plummeting, right? It found it. Like it just knows to find it for you. 2,000 monthly sold, $28.99 with with 1 to 2 sellers left. Okay. Do you think those 2 sellers have 2,000 units in stock? Let's see. Let's see what they got. No, 4 and 15. That's it, right? There's 19 unit counts left in stock for something that sells 2,000 units per month. No wonder the buy box has jumped up from, $20 to nearly $30, right? It's finding you opportunities like this. Like in my real account, I kid you not, one day I logged in and it told me I had 15 pages of stuff to buy, right? I don't have enough money to buy all of that. I'm just gonna cherry pick the best ones and buy it, right? So once you do buy it, you can just add it to your PO. Again, that same process, that workflow that I showed you, you can just add it to your PO and then, or add it to your buy list, right? And then it just takes you down the whole workflow again. It manages your budget, right? It manages, like, look, there's $15,000 left I have to spend this month because I told Merck how much my budget is per month, right? It's going to go through your good and bad ASINs. It's going to tell you, oh, hey, these are doing pretty good. These 183 that you got in stock, these are okay. And it knows what okay means, right? And then these are bad. And it'll even tell you like what to do with them, right? Stale inventory. It's going to tell me like, hey, these are just sitting there for 119 days you've been in stock. You got 76 left. This is how much it costs. This is how much the current unit price is. It's even giving you recommendations to either lower the price, liquidate, get out as best as you can, hold it if they see that the competition is dwindling or the buy box is recovering or whatever, right? It knows to tell you all of this stuff. Account health, right? Imagine not having to log into Seller Central every day just to see if you got an account health issue. And if you did, what it does is, okay, you got an IP complaint, here's the ASIN, and here's the invoice already attached for you, right? Isn't that crazy? Cash flow health. It's going to take a look at all of your financials to see like, hey, how well you're doing, right? Your incoming payouts, your outgoing expenses, what your operational expenses are, what credit cards you have due. And as long as you provide this information in that custom expense thing that I showed you earlier in the P&L, it's going to be able to crunch all of these numbers for you. It's going to even do like operational recommendations and like tell you, hey, you need to increase your unit count in your inbound shipping, and that'll decrease your overall shipping costs, right? Some of your subscriptions are too high. Your repricer is 9% of your overall monthly profit. Your KPI health for your team, right? If you have multiple teams VA sourcing for you, at a glance I can tell who are my best VAs, right? How much is their average ROI? How many leads are they finding me? And all kinds of stuff, right? And we're gonna just keep making this better and better. Initially, what we're gonna do is we're going to release this piece first, the purchasing recommendation and the ASIN health. We're gonna release that out in the very near future. We'll have a major webinar launch once that's ready to go. Once that's ready, it's going to be just absolutely, it's just gonna, it's gonna make your job so much easier, right? Literally you're hiring me to run your ASIN, your list, right? And we're gonna keep making it better and better. And then the future project after Merc, what it's also going to do is it's going to be able to go out to your supplier, like whatever supplier you gave it here, and then update the purchasing price, right? So automatically refreshing the purchasing price that's available on the online shopping website. Tell you whether it's out of stock. Maybe it'll even alert you like, hey, stores on sale, 20% off. I know you're buying it for $6.99, but if you got 20% off, it would be, $1.40 cheaper, right? And then from there, it'll tell you, hey, your profit went from, 62% ROI to 100% ROI, right? It will even do something like that. So it's just, the future of 3P Mercury is just insane. There's nobody doing it. And, even with Merc like this right now, seriously for me, if I just use this piece alone, this purchasing recommendation in my account without all the benefits of everything else, it would make me so much money, right? Because like you saw, right? Like how it's doing all of this calculation for you. It's analyzing if there's IP complaints, there's like on the listing, if the sellers are going up or down, is the price tanking, like just a million different data points that you would have to manually do it yourself, wasting so much time. At bare minimum, this replaces several virtual assistants that's managing your account, right? So anyways, I hope you guys got to see that. Now, if you guys are interested in using this software, we have an amazing community in a private user group. Now, to join, go to 3pmercury.com/friends. This is going to give you a massive discount on the monthly subscription on our top tier, okay? And the top tier will include Merc as well, right? You can go and buy the cheaper plan and get the retail, like the discount we're giving you for the top tier is cheaper than the cheapest retail plan that we have on the website, right? So take advantage of it. Being in this group, we give you a massive discount. Go to 3pmercury.com/friends and grab this. And what it does for you is it locks you into that price as long as you're subscribed, right? So as long as you're subscribed, you will get this discount, and you will you'll lock you in. And all of the future enhancements, everything we add to this, there's so many things coming that I didn't even mention. You guys will get all the benefits of the new features, all the upgrades and everything like that with that same price. You'll never get a price increase, right? As long as you maintain your subscription. And, just a heads up, in 2026, like probably by the end of January, our pricing will go up, right? Because Amazon decide to charge every single API vendor that uses their data. It used to be free, not free anymore, right? And I would say not even cheap anymore, right? Because it's a substantial amount of money to use their API. So either all of your software companies that you're currently using are going to have to increase their price, or they're going to degrade their services, right? Meaning maybe things that used to update every 3 hours now updates every 2 days, right? Because it just costs money, right? The data is not free anymore. So that goes the same with 3P Mercury, right? We've been riding this free data wave for about 2 years now, and it's going to cost us quite a substantial amount of money to run the same things that we are doing now, and in the near future with all of these enhancements like Merck. So surely we're going to have to increase our pricing to stay in business and serve you well. So lock in your price now before January hits, and and your prices has to go up. And that's going to be uniform across the board. It's not just going to be us doing it. You're going to see a lot of vendors start to increase their pricing because of this. It's quite substantial. It's not a small amount that Amazon's charging you. So charging us. So 3pmercury.com/friends. Go there, grab your discount, and I'm going to spend a couple of moments left we have looking at some questions here or some comments you guys put in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, one user says, been a one-stop shop for me with Keepa. Yep, using 3P Mercury with Keepa, kind of all you need. Love the calculator, have been very helpful with the 3-step check. Yeah, the calculator actually does the 3-step check for you. In case you guys are familiar with the 3-step check, it actually does it for you, and so much more. Does the calculator work for Walmart, US, and Canada? Yes, it does. So 3P Mercury works with all of North America, Canada, all of North, let me pause. It works with Walmart and Amazon for North America. So you got Mexico, Canada, United States, and it works for the entirety of Europe. So you got your, Italy, France, Germany, UK, all of those European countries. Let's see. Brandon says, I use that feature so much, like a couple weeks for Q4. Yep. Let's see. There's so much. Let's see. I have 14,000 ASINs sitting in there, more than I can ever even look at. Thank the Lord and gang for that filter. Yeah. Imagine now with Merck. You don't even need to run any filters, right? It's crazy, right? Does the filter in the lead vault use Keepa for its data source? It uses some Keepa data, it uses a lot of Amazon data, and we have some of our own proprietary data as well. So it uses a combination of a bunch of things to get that. So yes. Let's see. I need to insert something between 1 and 2. What? That is Nepedo to get the supplier. Would I still need to do that? So you still need to find the source, right? What you're gonna, it's a lead tracking software. So a lot of people who don't want a manual source, which to be honest, I still recommend, because manual sourcing will give you so much more results and much better quality of results than using a scraping software. Now, a lot of people do use a scraping software, like let's say Nepedo, Tactical Arbitrage, Arborsource, and to help them find it, right? And we've had a lot of sessions in 3P Mercury that shows you how to do that. I think Jim also has a webinar out there that shows you how to do that. And we've gotten a lot of people who loads just thousands of ASINs into 3P Mercury to track using that method. I personally use only manual sourcing with a team, so I have a whole team to do that, and I've demonstrated on some of my sessions where I show you that if you don't manual source, you'll probably miss out about 90% of the ASINs you're trying to find, right? So And those are the best ones that you're missing out on. So don't neglect manual sourcing. That's my recommendation to you. And I show you how to do that in my previous webinar that's on our YouTube channel. It's not that complicated, right? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, somebody had a session with the Nepeto. That's great. And how you can use that 3P Mercury. Let's see. What other questions? I'm excited about the future of 3P Mercury. Amazon is being wonky with gating right now. I tested an ASIN and they sold, so I go to purchase more and they gated all of a sudden. Now probably have to return the inventory. Unfortunately, that will happen occasionally. Now, it happens less often if you are a seasoned seller. That happens less to me, but it still happens. So, you know, and Q4 is crazy. So it's after Q4, I think you'll see a lot less of that. So you know, hopefully they'll clean that up because that is frustrating. I can say for certain nobody likes that, right? But the longer you've sold, the less likely they'll do that to you. And Q4 is a little crazy. So, you know, a lot of the gating stuff happens during Q4, and then after Q4, they kind of just loosen it up. So hopefully that works out well for you. Let's see. Kang, what is the difference between regular 3P and the version that we can buy as a user of the Replen dashboard? So if you guys are coming from Replen dashboard, we have two different versions for you. Now, the reason we created two different versions is because some people might want the bare bones lead tracking feature that we try to match as close to Replen dashboard as possible. So what that would give you for that specific plan is just the lead vault and the restocking feature. And the Chrome extension. So Chrome extension, lead vault, and restocking. The full version, which is, you know, not a whole lot more per month, will give you everything, right? So it gives you the visibility page, which I didn't even show you. It's kind of like your little initial dashboard to show you, you know, how well you're doing. Your lead vault, your buy list, that in between thing that we looked at, right? The buy list, purchase orders, to manage receipts, receiving. Of course, restock comes with that. ASIN tracking, which I didn't even show you. You know, and Walmart, and then all of your reports, your P&L reports, all of that stuff, right? So you get a whole lot more value if you take the other one that we did for the Replen dashboard, the full $89 one that we did for $89 for that. So if you guys go to that Replen dashboard page that we have on the webinar with Jimmy, if you saw that, and I'm sure he's emailed you out too, there'll be two offers, the Replen dashboard offer and then the full elite offer. If you like all of these features, especially with Merc coming on board, you're going to want the full version of that, okay? Let's see. Really exciting stuff. I didn't think it could be any easier, but here we go. Yes, it's getting easier. And even more easier once we can, you know, we update your cost and tell you if it's out of stock or in stock or on sale, or, you know, it's gonna be stupid. Just figure out how much money you want to spend, and that's all you got to do. And before we know it, Merc will be shopping for us. I mean, I know how to build it, but let me think about that one. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with your credit card. Let's see. I have a lead vault of 4,500. When I click check box all for the gate check, it has a mixed list. So the gate check feature is just a generic gate check. It's not for you to load your leads. So Enzo, who asked that, this gate check button is a generic gate check feature. So if you guys don't even want to load a list, I've loaded it for you, right? So I've loaded a mixed list 2, groceries, home and kitchen, beauty, and you can just go in here and then just hit update and it'll run the gate check on all of these. and it'll tell you which ones you can sell, and then you can begin to manually source those or whatever, right? This is just to help you in case you don't want to use your own list. But if you have your own list, which is usually better, right? Because you can be more in control, then use the import function that I showed you in this webinar to do that, right? So that would give you much better results. But if you just want a quick check and just use that gate check, automatic gate check thing, and it'll do it. It'll give you some suggestions, right? There's only one monthly rate right now. Is there a yearly one available? Yes. If you want to use a yearly one, just reach out to us at support@3pmercury.com, and we typically throw you in a couple of bonuses there. So if you are interested in a yearly option, just reach out to us at support@3pmercury.com, right? The number 3, 3pmercury.com, support. All right, reach out to us and just let us know you're interested in the annual plan, and we'll set some special deal up for you. Okay. After the receiving phase, you mentioned exporting the spreadsheet with the received items to another program like Inventory Lab. Will 3P Mercury eventually have a shipping feature like Inventory Lab? Yes, we will. Current roadmap right now is we're gonna complete out the Merc, right, and fully release the Merc and get it, fine tune it some more, right? The more people we have using it, the more people discover things and be like, hey, can you also do this and that, and make all kinds of improvement suggestions. So we're gonna focus a lot on Merc, and then after that, we're gonna take a pause and do a lot of feature enhancements. Like for instance, within the lead vault itself, if you still want to manually run things, we'll enhance this page and a bunch of other pages as well. I have a feeling, nobody's gonna use these pages except for Merc, but hey, you never know, right? There's a lot of people that still like to do things themselves and be in control, right? So hey, use both. We're gonna do a lot of feature improvements. A lot of feature requests out there right now, so we're going to hit up that. And then after that, we're going to do that feature that we're talking about in terms of being able to automatically update your cost for you and all that stuff, right? That's going to be huge. It's just absolutely mind-blowing, right? How much time that will save you. And in combination with Merc, it will make it even more effective, right? Because it'll tell you, okay, ignore these because they're out of stock, or maybe it's out of stock and go find it somewhere else, right? Go find another source for this product. So it'll at least do all of that work for you, alert you if things go on sale, and automatically calculate your profits. So it's going to make Merc even better. And then after that, we're going to hit up the shipping module. So, once we have the shipping module, you literally need nothing else. Maybe a repricer, and that's it, right? And then maybe once we're done with the shipping module, we'll build a repricer too. So who knows, I wouldn't be surprised the speed of which we develop, we might not be that far away from, getting to the repricer piece, right? Like, because eventually we're just going to have nothing left to build, right? Like, I mean, we're going to have to, we'll always have something to build, but, maybe an Amazon to Amazon full-fledged software will be in 3P Mercury too, so many things to come. And if you guys lock in your rate, all of that will come as the software gets more and more valuable, then the worth of it will increase, right? And if you guys lock in, you won't have to pay that extra amount, right? Let's see. Any word on the partnership with one of those repricers? That's kind of on their plate. I've reached out to some of the repricer companies. I guess they're busy, or maybe not taking me seriously. I don't know, but they kind of say yeah, we'll be in touch, and I don't hear anything. So it's kind of up to them. It's not really up to me, but we got plenty of things to work on. So I'm not too hurt by it because we got a lot of things to do. Does the profit and loss statement work for Amazon and Walmart? So right now just Amazon, but we will add Walmart to it in the near future. Again, focusing on some of the more critical pieces that will help you scale your business and make a ton of money, and then we will of course get to the part where it tells you how much money you made, right? Right now most of our users are on Amazon, so we focus a lot of our features on Amazon, but we will get back to Walmart for sure. All right. Will Merck be able to update the source cost? That's what we talked about, right? It will. After we launch Merck, we will launch the other piece where it'll update your source cost too. Uh, do you have plans for 3P to do sourcing and find us profitable ASINs like Arbisource or other software? Like I said, eventually we're going to run out of things to build, so we're just going to keep building new stuff, right? And include it into 3P Mercury. So, technologically speaking, we can build anything, right? Like for us to spend some time and build a sourcing software is not that hard. Like we know how to do it. It's just, what do we want to focus on first, right? So eventually I think we would, but we want to knock out like the core key components first, and then that will be, that will get you really, really far in your business. And I think, even right now without Merck, I think it's an indispensable software. Like you have to track your leads, or else you will never find stuff like this, right? That just the sales count just deep, like the offer count just completely goes away, right? Like imagine finding a lead with one seller that sells 2,000 units a month, right? And that's just insane, right? All right. Anyways, no more questions, so we're gonna adjourn. We went over by 10 minutes, so thank you for sticking with me. And if you guys like what you saw and you think this will help you out, join 3pmercury.com/friends. Grab your discount. Prices will go up in the very near future in January, and go ahead and grab that. Include it with your membership. We'll be able to join us in our private group where we do this type of stuff every single week. I go Monday live with my group twice, once in the morning for those who can, and those who are, work in the daytime. I do another one in the evening. So you guys can come and see all of these strategies that I do, show you all of these, neat filters and how to find these type of listings and what you should be doing. And we share all kinds of nuggets. So anyways, thank you for joining me, and looking forward to serving you in our group and our software. Yeah, I'll talk to you real soon. Thanks.